A hard-boiled egg is the perfect way to break a fast or a great snack if you want something that's simple and healthy. Keep watching and I'll show you how I boil my eggs. Hey y'all, it is Kandi and I'm going to go over today with you guys how to boil an egg. Now I know that seems pretty silly that somebody may have questions on how to boil an egg, but you'd be surprised. That is one of the most Googled questions out there, is how to actually boil an egg. So I'm going to give you the way I do it today. It's very, very simple and we're going to go over the process right now. All right, so I have 6 eggs that I had set out about an hour ago. We just kind of want to bring them to room temperature. I have a pot of water that I'm going to place the eggs in, and I'm going to place these eggs in the water and make sure there's about an inch of water covering the tops of the eggs. So when you do that, just make sure that you don't drop them in there hard, otherwise you're going to crack them. You want to inspect your eggs first, make sure they don't have any cracks or anything like that, because you don't want your eggs popping out of the shell during the process. So you're just going to carefully place your eggs in a pan. Make sure there's enough room that these eggs are not going to be constantly hitting each other. You don't want to overstuff your pan. And then just put a sprinkle of salt in there. So you just want a pinch of salt, and that's going to help the eggs not crack. So once you have your eggs in the pan on the stovetop, you are going to turn on your stove. Put it on high because we are going to bring these to a boil. So once these start boiling, we're going to then turn the heat off, put the lid on, and set a timer for 12 minutes. Now 12 minutes would be for large eggs. If you have medium eggs, you're going to do 9 minutes, and if you happen to have extra large eggs, you're going to go for about 15 minutes. You'll be able to see little bubbles starting to form all around those eggs and on the side in the bottom of the pan. So this isn't a boil yet. We're going to wait till it comes to a rolling boil, and that's going to have constant bubbles coming to the top. So now we are at a rolling boil. We're going to cover the pan with a lid, turn the burner off, and set an alarm for 12 minutes. Okay, you guys, it has been 12 minutes. So what we're going to do now is take our eggs and put them immediately into an ice bath. The reason why we're going to do this is so that it immediately stops the cooking process and will cool those eggs down, and it will help to prevent the yolk from getting green. Have you ever seen the green yolks on eggs that have been cooked too long? Yeah, so that's not a pretty sight. So this is what we're going to do to help prevent it, is to put it into some ice water. We're going to let this cool, and then in a few minutes we'll be back once they're cool enough to touch and peel, and we'll open one and see what it looks like. All right, so after 10 minutes we can now take our eggs out of the ice bath. If you keep your eggs in the shell, you can store them for about a week in the refrigerator. If you want to peel them and want to store them in the fridge, put them in a container with a wet paper towel, and that will help to keep them moist. So we're going to go ahead and crack one and peel it and see how we did. So the shell's coming off quite nicely. One thing that happens is if you have new eggs, sometimes they stick worse than others. So having an older egg and boiling that may help you prevent it from peeling and sticking to the shell. So there we go. We are going to rinse this off, then cut it open and see what it looks like. All right, you guys, let's check out our hard-boiled egg. So it looks perfect. We're going to go ahead and taste it. When eating a hard-boiled egg, for some reason, I like the sea salt flakes that come in the Malden container. I love it. So we are going to eat that with our hard-boiled egg. And as you can see, it's just real flaky. I don't know if you can tell, but it just comes off in flakes and I love it. So there's what the flakes look like, and we are going to dip the egg in that and go ahead and taste it. So it is the perfect hard-boiled egg, you guys. Big tips and takeaways on this: large egg is 12 minutes. Once the timer stops, you are going to immediately submerge them into ice water to stop the cooking process and prevent the yolk from getting green. If you guys have a special way that you use to cook your hard-boiled eggs, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, stop eating processed foods.